Okay, hello everyone. Today we are going to be going over The Goat in the Rug, the book that we read yesterday. So we're going to go over the steps that go into making a rug. So we want to put these steps in order. So we want to talk about what you do first, what you do second, what you do third, after that, and then finally the last thing that you do to make a rug. So do you understand what the steps are? Okay, let's all go ahead and go through them together and say them out loud just to make sure we have them down. So we have the first step, the second step, third, after that, and then last. Okay, good job, guys. Alright, so we are going to begin with the book that we read yesterday, and I'm going to hold up the picture to you, and just from remembering what we did, let's try to just say what the thing was that was the first step. So this first one here, what is Geraldine doing in this picture? Yes, Joe? Yeah, she's cutting the wool, or clips the wool. So I'm going to write this down. We'll go ahead. There are 9 steps. So the first step is clips Geraldine's wool. Okay, great. Good job, guys. Okay, so the next one, can you guys help me with this one? It's this picture here. Do you remember talking about this? Yes? Okay. Sure, yeah, so she's making soap. Do you remember the plant that the soap came from? Remember she crushed up the roots from it? Yeah, exactly. So it was called a yucca plant. Beautiful. So, the second step is make soap from yucca to clean wool. Okay, so let's go ahead and just say this out loud together. So this is make soap from yucca to clean the wool. Got that? Okay, awesome, guys. This next one here, this is the next picture. Do we remember this step? Right, what is she doing in this picture? Yeah, exactly. Okay, good job. So she's washing the wool. So the third step is wash the wool. Great. Okay, so we have the first step is clips the wool, right? So cut the wool. Second is make soap from yucca. So it's when they crushed up the roots of the plant to make soap. And then third, we have wash the wool. Okay, great, guys. Then, so after she washes the wool, that's this last one, the next step was this picture here. Do you guys see what she's doing? Yes, that's right. Good job. So she is drying the wool. So the next step, so after that, she dries the wool. Okay, great. Now what about this picture here? Yeah, so this is the one you see she's holding these in her hands, right? And you go like this and you comb the wool, right? You pull it out like this and it makes it nice and soft. Okay, great. So this we have comb the wool. Beautiful. Okay, now after the wool is combed, after that she does another step here. Do we remember what she does here? This is where she makes it into, she takes the wool and she makes it into the nice, like thin yarn that she can weave with. Do you remember what that word is? Okay, sweet. So it's spin the wool into yarn. Good job. Great. I'm running out of room. Let me see. I'm just gonna write them over here. So 6, spin the wool into yarn. Nice, guys. Okay, after that, do you remember the next step? Here's the picture. What is she doing in this bucket here? Yeah, the color, exactly. She's changing it. Do you remember the word that she uses for that? Right, exactly, dye. So it's dye the wool. Great. After that step, do you remember this one right here? Right, so here she's taking the wool and she's putting it around the thing that she uses to weave it. Do you remember what that's called? What that word is? The square thing is called a loom, right? Awesome. So this is called wrap the loom. She goes and she puts it around the loom. She wraps the loom. Okay. After that, the next step is this right here. So this is the last step, right? So she wrapped the loom, and now what is the word for when you put the yarn through the loom? And you make all those beautiful designs? Does anyone remember what that's called? It's to weave, right? Cool. So to weave the rug. Great, guys. Okay, now we're going to talk about two words. The first one is before, and the next one is after. So, let's see. I'm going to put these up on the board. Okay, so this one first. Okay, like this. Now, these are the three last steps, right? So we have dye the wool, weave the rug, and wrap. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. So dye the wool, wrap the loom poles, and then weave the rug. Now, dye the wool comes before wrap the loom. So you do this, and then you wrap the loom. So dye the wool before wrap the looms. Now, wrap the looms is before weave the rug. So, should we go ahead and say that? What is before wrap the looms? What is before? Yeah, exactly. It'd be dye the wool. Okay, so you dye the wool before you wrap the looms. Now, the other term I want you guys to learn is after. And after is what comes after the thing you do. So you start out with dye the wool, and after you dye the wool, you wrap the loom poles. And after you wrap the loom poles, you weave the rug. So what do you do after you wrap the loom poles? What comes after? No, not dye the wool, that comes before. But after you wrap the loom poles, you weave the rug. Exactly. So you do this, after this, and after this. Exactly. Or you do this after. And then you do this before this, and that before that. So kind of goes that way. So what do you do before you wrap the loom? Exactly, you dye the wool. Excellent, guys. Okay. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of all of these steps that we have written out that you guys remember from yesterday. Let me take these down out of our way. Hang on one second. Okay, guys, so looking at these steps, you can go ahead and just refer back to here. I'm going to ask you guys some questions. Alright, you ready? Okay, so first, does Glenn May wash the wool before or after she weaves the rug? So does she wash the wool? Is it before or after she weaves the rug? Yes, Joe? Yes, that's right. Yeah, so let's go ahead. Can we repeat that sentence all out with everybody? So, Glenn May washes the wool before she weaves the rug. Can you say that for me? Excellent. Good job, guys. The next one I want to ask, does Glenn May dye the wool before or after she makes soap and cleans it? Does she dye the wool before or after she makes soap and cleans it? No, it's not before. Exactly, after. So let's say that together. Glenn May dyes the wool after she makes soap and cleans it. Can you guys say that for me? Nice, guys. Okay, so my next question is, what does Glenn May do first? So what is the first thing she does? Yes, so she clips Geraldine's wool, right? So that's what we wrote up here. She clips Geraldine's wool. So that's the first thing she does. So will you guys go ahead and say this sentence for me? First, Geraldine clips, I'm sorry, not Geraldine. First, Glenn May clips Geraldine's wool. Or maybe just, it'd be easier to, you could just say, first she clips the wool. Great, so that's first. Good job. What does she do after she dries the wool? So that was, where did my picture go? So this one here. So this is she dries the wool. What does she do after? No, she doesn't clip it. Clipping comes before she dries the wool. So after is everything else she does. Do you remember the things she does after? Exactly, yeah. One of the things, remember that, is she combs the wool, right? So she washes it, she lets it dry, and then after she combs the wool. Great, great guys. Okay, what is another thing she does after she dries the wool? Just anything else? You can look here, that'll probably help. Yep, that's right. Yeah, exactly. So she spins the wool into yarn. Yep, that's a great answer. So after it's dry, she twists it, right, so that it's a long yarn, so she can weave it. Perfect. Can you think of anything else she does after she dries the wool? Yes, Maria? Yeah, exactly, right? That's the last thing she's doing, is she's weaving the rug. Great. Okay, now here's a question. Does Glen May wrap the loom? So that's, let me find. Where did that one go? Okay, does she wrap the loom before or after she makes soap to wash the wool? So does she wrap the whole loom? Is that before or after she washes the soap? Or she makes soap and to wash it? Yes, that's right. Good job. Yeah, so she does that before, right? I'm sorry. She wraps the loom after. She washes the stuff before. Yeah, exactly. So can you guys go ahead and say this with me? I'll say it first, and then you're going to repeat it for me. Glen May wraps the loom after she makes soap to wash the wool. Beautiful, guys. Great job. Okay, now here's a question. What is the last thing, sorry, not first, last thing that Glen May does in this whole order, out of all the steps? So the last thing. Yes, exactly. It's this one right here. She weaves the rug. So, let me find where that is. So that's the most exciting, right? That's what the whole book is about. Right here. So she weaves the rug, and she makes this beautiful rug that they use in their homes. Lots of things. Yeah, it's beautiful. So let's go ahead and I'll say the sentence, and you guys repeat after me. The last step, she weaves the rug. Cool. And what does she do right before she weaves the rug? What's the thing she does right before? That's true, yeah. She does wash the wool. That happens before. But what happens just before? It's this one right here. So this is the last, right before, is wrap the loom. Excellent, guys. All right, good job. Those were a lot of questions. You did excellently. Now I'm going to split you guys into groups, okay, groups of 2. And I'm going to hand you guys these picture cards from the lesson. And I want you to go ahead and just work together and order them from 1 through 9. So first, second, third, all those after that, and then last. And yeah, you'll put them in order. Okay, so I'm going to put, Stephen, you're going to be with Maria, and Joe, why don't you go ahead and be with Phil, okay? All right, awesome. Um, Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and play some games. We're going to mix them up, mix some of the steps up, and you guys are going to help me put it together on the board, okay? So I'll go ahead and take these out.